whoever you think you are, whatever has happened to you, your trauma, your experiences, your limitations, your health, your wealth, whatever it is you think that is holding you back, you can overcome that.
Viktor Frankl was a survivor of a Jewish concentration camp. He was a doctor, and his whole book is about your experience of a situation is not defined by the situation, but it's all defined by your mindset. So even in the concentration camps, when he was working with victims who were near the edge of death, he found some people were able to find the beauty in a flower that they could see in the distance, and some people were consumed by the situation that they were in. So our experience, although not as extreme, if we can get the mindset series, if we can get our mindset and change our mindset, then we can really have an impact on our life.
And Gurbani tells us, Hana, that Ghar sukh vasya, bahar sukh paya, that if we can experience peace within the home of our body, then we will experience peace in the external world as well. That it's not the other way around, even though our whole lives we're brought up thinking that when we get that job, when we get that partner, when we get that perfect relationship, when we have those children, when we have that bigger house, then we will experience happiness. Whereas what you've just described, that really beautiful account, and what we know as well from our personal experience intuitively, is that when the internal is settled, then the external looks good. And so mindset for me is just a way of exploring how do we experience that peace within our internal home, and what are the things that don't allow us to experience that. And Gurbani talks about the game of life and the game of the mind versus the Panchjor, and understanding the Atma, and just understanding that game that we're all part of. And I think sometimes when we're struggling, we can feel a lot of shame, like, why am I struggling? Why can't I overcome this problem? Or why can't I get past my anger or my lust or whatever? And I love this game of life analogy that Gurbani has, where it's like, actually, we're all fighting this internal battle where we have the mind as supposed to be the king of the body. And then you have these opponents, the Panchjor, whose job it is, who have been given this job by Akal Purukh, whose job is to take our mind away from peace and away from connection with the One. And so I feel like we can bring in so much around Gurbani, and it offers such a non-shaming and a very normalizing perspective on why it is that we struggle. And so I'm really looking forward to having conversations about that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because for me, being someone who's always been quite hard on myself and put myself down, low self-esteem in the past, I think those kind of conversations are really empowering, to know that, there is this force that is not necessarily me, that takes me towards Kam, Krodh, Lobh, towards lust, towards greed, towards attachment, Ninda, Chugli, gossiping, slander. And it's not that I'm not going to take responsibility for it, but it's just knowing that actually that's not the truth of who I am, that there's these forces at work, but actually Guru has given us the practical tools on how to overcome that and realize the truth of who we are. And so for me, what mindset represents is that empowerment that Maharaj has given us, that whoever you think you are, whatever has happened to you, your trauma, your experiences, your limitations, your health, your wealth, whatever it is you think that is holding you back, you can overcome that. Right? So, we have all these Sakya, we have all these stories where Guru's telling us about the Paras, the philosopher's stone that changes people from iron into gold. And that really resonates for me, because for a long time, I just felt like I wasn't a good enough person, and I'm still working on it. But for me, I really feel passionate now, like, this true change is possible, true transformation is possible. And we're starting to scratch the surface and find, what are the elements of that? What are the keys for that? How can you actually feel whole within yourself without trying to find that love or that acceptance from outside? How can you truly feel in Jardi Kala, like mindset and Jardi Kala? Sometimes we just band these terms around and kind of use them in a cliched way. But actually, this is about how is that really truly possible? How can you actually become the person who you want to become? And that can be whatever it is. This is not about judging, or are you going to use it to change your career? Are you going to use it to find a husband? Or it's not about that. There's no judgment here at all. It's just what is the core of what Guru is giving us? What is that gift? And how can we practically use it?
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the full podcast on our second channel, BOS TV.
And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Let's get it to 10k subs.